All right. So today we are going to be talking about crypto.com, the crypto on ramp that's targeting 100 million new users to crypto over the course of 2 years who have solutions pretty much spanning just about anything you would want, from a centralized exchange, decentralized exchange, cash back, crypto reward cards, debit cards, staking, lending, NFTs, as well as crypto infrastructure for businesses that want to go ahead and begin accepting crypto as payment. So we're going to be diving into this thing. Now, quick, just to kind of set some ground level work here, okay? So we have crypto.com, which is the centralized exchange. Behind that, we actually have the crypto.org blockchain, and that's developed in partnership with Kronos, which is a side chain to Ethereum. That's important to all know. There's some interconnectivity between actual blockchain built to support a centralized exchange. Think Binance, right? Similar to Binance. If it's your first time here, my name's Ryan. I do deep dives into cryptocurrencies. How this goes ahead and works, I have community polls that I put out just about every single day, asking guys, hey, what project should we review next? Whatever gets the most votes, I make a video about. Pretty straightforward. If you want to go ahead, you want to jump that line and have me cover a specific cryptocurrency for you, make sure you join my Patreon. That's one of the perks, as well as seeing my portfolio and all the different moves I'm making, and some behind the scenes content that may or may not have made some other Patreons a little bit of scratch, a little bit of cash. So let's circle back here. What is the goal of crypto.com? It's pretty straightforward. Their goal is to put cryptocurrency in every single wallet. All right. So they're trying to go ahead and set folks up with those cards, with access to an exchange, with DeFi access, NFT staking, as well as ensuring that they're regulated in every market in which they operate. Because let's be honest, if we want to have crypto grow and blossom and make all of us millionaires, widespread adoption has to happen. And in order for that to happen, it has to be regulated. Just gonna say it as it is. Let's go ahead. Let's look at some of the founders here. Now, first stop when I look at projects is I want to see the founding team. I want to see what their track record is. Have they raised money before? Have they been successful before? Have they been in crypto before? And with crypto.com, they check all the boxes. We have Rafael here. Hopefully I didn't butcher your name there, Rafael. Apologize if I do. He has a ton of fintech experience working at MasterCard as CFO, which is a chief financial officer. He's the main guy in charge of the numbers, making sure that the business is growing and growing at a rate that can be sustainable. Good to see him over. He partnered up with Chris as a co-founder, and Chris actually has more of a detailed history in creating businesses that operate on e-commerce. And in essence, creating Insogo, which is one of the online discount retailers in Southeast Asia. And then, of course, they also had another co-founder, which was Gary Orr. And Gary actually went ahead and he left his CTO position with Crypto.com, and he went on to form Particle B, which is really important. We're going to get into that a little bit later in the video. What's up, Jasir? Welcome to the chat, man. CRO, next year will be $2. $2, holla holla. Yeah, man, that'd be sick. Now, another thing I like to look at after I look at the founding team is I like to see who are they hiring. Because if they're hiring people, typically it means they have a lot of money. If they have a lot of money, that's the potential to grow. And they have about 600 open positions right now. 600. Most of them spanning across human resources, some business development, and engineering, product design, all that good stuff. So what that tells me is that they are well funded, they have some strong backers, and likely are going to recoup this investment on headcount multiple fold. Now the next stop we take is you look at social media, because I need to see the community. I need to see if there's a ravenous group of fans behind this project out there spreading the gospel of crypto.com. And sure enough, there is. So on Reddit, 155,000 members, which is a grip. That is a ton. They also have 1.7 million followers on Twitter. Huge. Now, I do also like to pull up Lunar Crush. If you didn't know, Lunar Crush is a social sentiment tool. In essence, what it does, it looks across the entire social media space, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Reddit, aggregates the data and says, hey, are people talking about this coin? And if they are there some trends that maybe we can get in and make a buck on? They had that awesome commercial that they did with LeBron James over Super Bowl weekend. And that's kind of what you're seeing here with some of these spikes. Unfortunately, it didn't seem to move the price too drastically, but interesting nonetheless to note. And we jump over to their YouTube, kind of wrapping up this community vibe. They have 71,000 subscribers with content out pretty much every other day. Now, I know you guys are just like me, okay? You're trying to make some money off of these things. And so we're going to take a quick pit stop and look at the market cap and play the game of what if, okay? What if Crypto.com went ahead and hit the market cap of BNB? Well, you'd be looking at about a 6x on whatever investment you have in right now on Crypto.com. And the reason for that, we go ahead and pull up BNB. They have only 165 million tokens in circulation in comparison to Crypto.com, which has 30 billion. So that token difference, total supply difference, is why the price is unlikely to go ahead and reach $400 anytime soon. Now, I went ahead and I listened to this entire AMA, and I apologize in advance, Chris. I always pause these things at inopportune times and kind of make people look ridiculous, but we're just going to take it in stride. The big things I took away from this is, one, they're laser focused on growing their user base, getting new people to their app. In addition to that, scaling out their exchange, adding additional features, and then finally, robust crypto services. And the uniqueness of this thing is that they have that blockchain and the backend supporting them. They've actually went ahead and had some funding diverted to some decentralized exchanges and decentralized automatic market makers who would create some potential protocols that they could plug into Crypto.com later down the road. So lots and lots of growth potential there. We pull up their roadmap. Right now, they've already completed this, as far as I understand, and got the NFT support up on the Crypto.com site. Now, looking at phase 2, native coin issuance, as well as execution with ETH-based smart contracts. So what that means to me, and I jumped in the Discord and kind of asked around, is in essence enabling the Ethereum virtual machine within their blockchain, within the Crypto.com blockchain, enabling ETH programs and crypto projects to go ahead and launch off of their own blockchain, and then go ahead and support the issuance of native tokens directly on their chain. So as for what that means long term, I'm actually a little confused on that. I'm not going to act like I know, but interesting nonetheless, and apparently it's important enough to put on your roadmap as phase 2. Now, we look at some of the VC backers. This one's a little bit different. And they did have some VC backers in there, but this one is actually a VC backer itself. They've earmarked $200 million to go ahead and target seed and Series A rounds of projects to give them funding. And these are some of the projects that they've covered. The ones that jump out to me, obviously, Efinity is a social media tool, gaming kind of project. Mentable.app is a big one. Pegasus is a great game that's out right now. So super interesting to see. What we got in the chat? Steve Owens. Super Bowl was touted as Crypto Bowl, and expectations that crypto would benefit. Maybe delayed, but slow burn maybe. Here's hoping. Yeah, man, I didn't buy into that. I mean, there was a lot of marketing money spent, and I think it's going to have some benefits to us long term, but I didn't expect the market to rally off of that. Partner list. Look, these guys have marketing money, and they are spending it. Okay? These are some of the partners they have set up right here. Big ones being UFC, some basketball teams, Aston Martin. Hey guys, Crypto.com, if you want to like Venmo and Aston Martin, feel free to do so. Twitch rivals and a whole bunch of others. Not to mention the Crypto.com arena. Rip Staples. So what else we have? So we look at the tokenomics. So the coin behind this thing is CRO. And we already kind of covered the max supply. One thing that's worth noting is the total supply is actually in circulation. Around 83% of the token is in circulation right now. So there is a little bit of downward pressure as those additional tokens are unlocked, but I think it's relatively nominal, right? It's not that much compared to some other projects. Now, as for the utility of that token, trading. You get a discount if you own CRO and you go to do some trading on the Crypto.com app. You get some priority token allocation when it comes to fundraising on their platform. Obviously, you could stake the token and earn some APY, access some of the DeFi features, act as a validator and provide payments. Utilize it to go ahead and get yourself one of those Crypto.com cards. So there's a lot of utility in the token. And I guess the main importance of that is if any of these things go ahead and they take off, more people are needing to buy the token, so there's less available. As long as interest continues to stay the same, the price of it will go up. Crypto Marcoco, CRO or FTX? Ooh, good question. I'd buy both. Why not buy both? Hedge your bets. Now, this is actually back from February 2021. They did go ahead and they instituted a burn. They burned 70 billion tokens, which is a lot. They went ahead to provide the addresses as well as the amounts. You can go through and kind of double check that. One thing that was interesting is they did go ahead and they take a little shy of 1 billion CRO and they allocated it to Particle B, which we'll go ahead and we'll dive in, I think, here pretty darn close. Another thing to watch is the total holders. Okay, so if we look back from November, right, they had 126,000. Looking at now, around 214,000. So in that span of 4 months, they've added 100,000 holders, users of the crypto CRO token. Now, I alluded to Particle B a couple times. We did a video Friday, actually, talking about, Tectonic, cross-chain money market that's decentralized. And we were kind of on the fence. It's like, is it legit? Is it a scam? People seem to be making a bunch of money off of it. Well, it turns out that Crypto.com used some of those CRO tokens to fund Particle B. Particle B went ahead and used some of that funding to support Tectonic. So it's a legit project. It's a legit project. Even though their founders aren't completely doxxed, it's a legit deal. Another one in that video that folks were asking about was VVS Finance. That's another one that Particle B went ahead and backed, and we'll likely go ahead and do a deep dive video on that here soon. Crypto Marcoco. LOL, I wish I was a baller like you. Hey man, a little bit here and there, right? Just put $100 in it, $50, $25 in each one. Cover your bases. Let's go. Now we went ahead, we covered this, but again, Kronos is the back-end side chain that's supporting a lot of the technology for the crypto.org blockchain and crypto.com website. And we go ahead, we look at the distribution of tokens. Interestingly enough, there were no private sales, right? It was in essence a public launch, free launch. So I like to see that because we don't have to worry about vesting schedules, right? We don't have to worry about people buying CRO when it was a fraction of a penny. It unlocks in 6 months, and now they're going to go ahead and sell it and crash on all of us because now it's like 40 cents or whatever it is. Now we go ahead, we also pull it up on Etherscan, and we go ahead, we see that burn that they referred to right here in this null address. And this multi-sig address, that likely is going to be the developer address, the kind of funding the protocol, its marketing, on all those good things. Now, one thing I think it's worth calling out here, the CEO made a big goal, right? A big goal. 100 million users in 2 years. And that was, I think, May of last year. And if we go ahead and we look into the block right here, it shows us how many new addresses they're adding each and every day. And right now, it looks like it's around 1,000 addresses a day. So if we go ahead and we do some math on that, they're going to be a little short of that $100 million goal, 100 million user goal. And so I think he might be on the hot seat if he can't kind of get this sorted out, because they're spending a ton of money on marketing. And so you would hope that would go ahead and be showing up in the numbers here with user growth. But anyhow, I digress. Another thing to mention here is they do have a DAO infrastructure in place. So if you have tokens, you can go ahead and vote when initiatives are brought up. You can raise questions yourself to the community. Love to see that. As for where you can buy this thing, well, pretty much every single exchange you can imagine. Except for Binance, I don't think is on here. Hold on, Binance. No Binance. That's weird. Probably because they're a competitor. But you can also buy it on Coinbase, which is also another competitor of theirs. So that's interesting. Now we go ahead, we look at partners. F1, they went ahead and threw a bunch of money at F1 to be a global partner of the racing series. They went ahead and threw a ton of other money, $175 million at UFC. They went ahead and they bought the naming rights to the Staples Center. Again, RIP Staples Center. Now it's the Crypto.com Arena for $700 million. And so they have a lot of money going after marketing right now. They have a lot of freaking money going after marketing. Other noteworthy news, so again, they kind of seeded some money to Tectonic through Particle B, and they actually went through and they listed it on Crypto.com, giving it massive exposure to all their users. And as Crypto.com is kind of like, an easy on-ramp for folks who maybe aren't super used to crypto, any type of pump that happens with Tectonic's price could have some retail FOMO piling in because they just, they're new. They don't understand what they're looking. They see something that's going up. Now, other news that's noteworthy, they went ahead and they hired a couple of folks to go ahead and take over VP of Engineering, Managing Director. And then, of course, they had that killer commercial with LeBron James with the QR codes hidden in the background and all that stuff. So again, right now they're at 10 million users. 10 million users. And the goal is to be 100 million in 2 years. And we're showing that they're adding about 1,000 users a day. So they have some ground to gain if they're going to go ahead and get that knocked out. And again, looking at that roadmap, if we move past the Ethereum virtual machine, which was phase 2 in Draco, go ahead and instituting the automatic market making tool, which I believe will likely be one of those projects that they funded through Particle B, speculation, but I bet that's likely, is kind of phase 3. Now we look at some of the comparisons here. I think BNB Finance is probably the most fair comparison. And as of right now, they're actually listed as number 2 behind them in total market cap, double that of FTX. I would say Crypto Marcoco, one comment. So you mentioned FTX or Crypto.com. I think one benefit has to be that FTX is actually based in the United States. If I'm not wrong, I don't think I am. Whereas Crypto.com is actually based in Hong Kong. So when you talk about kind of schmoozing with regulators, having some big wigs to go ahead and kind of put some elbow grease in and get some things taken care of, I think FTX might be, as well as Coinbase, might be at a advantage in doing that, right? Americans probably want to see Americans do well over some of their competitors. The flip side of that, too, is also they're at the risk of all that regulation and compliance stuff. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about a couple different scenarios, all right? I always say in these videos, I could be wrong, I could be right. I'm just trying to give you as much information as you can in the shortest period of time so you can go ahead and you can make a decision, or at least springboard off and have some questions that you're out there going to go answer. So let's look at the bullish scenario, okay? Bullish scenario. All this marketing makes Crypto.com the Pepsi to Coinbase's Coca-Cola, okay? They're tier 2, all right? Not tier 1, but they're tier 2. With Binance left out in the cold as the Dr. Pepper, okay? As a very simple on-ramp for new crypto users, it sees tremendous growth, especially in correlation with market pumps, right? We haven't had like a true bull market pump, I think, once CROs kind of got up and running. And so anything like that, with all the marketing that they've done, a lot of potential to go ahead and reap the rewards from that. I think in addition to that, the uniqueness of having that blockchain behind them, supporting the Crypto.com platform, making sure it's fast, secure, nimble, all those good things. And then I think what's really interesting to watch is how they're go ahead and they're incubating some of these projects through Particle B. So I think as homework for everybody, researching VVS, researching Tectonic, I think would probably be a smart play. Now, I do have actually a plug here. I do have a Tectonic video. I'm going to go ahead and probably link on the screen whenever I put this up on the YouTube channel. But we'll likely do one on VVS Finance also soon. So let's flip it. Bearish scenario. A growth of 100 million users. Based on the data we looked at, they're adding 1,000 a day. They're not on track to do it. And with the company based in Hong Kong, Coinbase and FTX will likely receive preferential treatment from the US because they're US based. Right? We want to keep that money here and all that strength here. All that marketing that they're spending, that can go ahead and that can pump in a ton of new users. But in order for them to stick around, you need something tangible and something different than your competitors. And I'm not quite sure yet in how I've interacted with their app that it's really there. In addition to that, the funding that Particle B is doing into these side projects, if some of them have a exploit or turn out to be a scam or some bad news happens with one of those, it could go ahead and blow back on the Crypto.com brand. And then this was a Reddit post that was on their Reddit page that I thought was interesting. Shout out to Element of P, terrible name. But in essence, he's saying what I just said, right? They spend a ton of money on marketing and customer acquisition. Perhaps some of that could go ahead and stabilize the app, make it more scalable. Focus more on customer retention rather than pure growth. As someone who's worked in the industry during the last bear market, I remember seeing the churn of users when our app sucked and the market wasn't bringing enough users to replace the old ones. Don't fall for that trap. And I think that's fair, right? Look, you got new users coming in, but everybody who's ever done anything in business knows that it costs you more money to go ahead and replace a customer than it does to keep a customer. So hopefully they're taking that to heart and directing some of their love and attention to the folks who already use their tools. But boom, there you have it. There's my review of Crypto.com. Am I going to go ahead and add it into my portfolio? The answer to that is likely a yes. Yes, I am. I think they have a ton of potential. I think it's still relatively early. I think as crypto goes ahead and continues to grow, all that marketing they put in place will go ahead and get them new users, especially if we have a bull market pump. And I look forward to seeing their innovation and continued growth in the marketplace. So I'm likely going to be buying CRO. Let me know in the comments down below. What did I miss? What did you love? What did you hate? What should I cover next? Thanks.